Hello everyone and welcome to our webinar, Maximizing Productivity Using Automated FLSSI Probate Forms. My name is Ari Bulmash. I am the Director of Estate Planning and Administration at Leap Legal Software. I'm really excited today to discuss Leap becoming a licensed vendor of FLSSI probate and guardianship forms and our inclusion of those forms in our Forms and Templates library for Florida practitioners. Leap is designed to handle all of your firm's matters with features including billing and payment collection, data collection for use in managing your matters, trust accounting, time recording for tracking your activities or other hourly billing, and my favorite, document management and automation. Included with Leap is also a secure sharing platform to collect data and share documents with your clients. In today's webinar, we'll be covering FLSSI probate forms included in our Forms and Templates library, creating a formal administration matter type in Leap for use with automated FLSSI forms, and highlights on some of our more advanced automation we've created simplifying the drafting of your probate documents in your Florida matters. We now have the entire library of FLSSI probate forms included in Leap. This includes 196 forms provided by FLSSI, and we're adding county-specific forms where those may be necessary to file. All FLSSI forms are created and edited by the FLSSI editors, who are leading Florida probate and guardianship practitioners preparing these forms for many years. All FLSSI forms will be reviewed annually, and any updates or additional forms provided by FLSSI will be updated in Leap and included in the library. Now that we are including FLSSI probate forms as part of your subscription with Leap, you get to use Leap's pre-configured matter types, where our goal is to streamline data entry that will be used throughout the probate process. Using Leap's powerful document automation and management solution, FLSSI forms will be automated with information entered into your matter. From simpler fields such as the firm information, court, and decedent's information, to more complex automation around lists of beneficiaries, automated inventories and orders, and distribution lists. Using Leap for your Florida probate matters will revolutionize your practice. FLSSI forms open through Leap even takes advantage of Leap's AutoTime feature. Whether you're billing hourly or wanting to monitor your efficiency in flat fee or percentage-based billing, anytime you open a FLSSI form from Leap, Leap will be tracking those activities. Combining all of these with Leap's existing award-winning AI features and our integration with Wealth Counsel, Leap is a true end-to-end solution for estate administration and planning. Let's dive in. Today, we're going to be working out of a Florida formal administration matter type in Leap. I'm going to first start off by covering this matter we're looking at here, the tables that exist and the tables that exist by default and non-default, and kind of go over that briefly. The first tables you're going to see here are petitioner, decedent, beneficiaries, court, probate details, and then down at the bottom, assets and liabilities. These are all tables that are basically on by default when you open a brand new non-customized matter type within Leap. This is the matter template that we put out from the content team on formal administration. If I right click here on the matter type, I can go to edit table types, and you'll see on the left-hand side here all of the active tables and inactive tables that exist, so that you can make changes if you need to add more, such as heirs or next of kin, siblings, etc. For now, we're going to talk about what we have here. The petitioner being your client, filling out the relationship to the decedent, which will show up in some of these forms. The decedent themselves, opening that up as a card, creating the beneficiaries, their relationship to the decedent, the court where the case exists, and then court details like file number, division, things like that. Further down, we have the probate details table as well. Within the probate details table, we'll have the estate status, whether it's testate or intestate, the county domiciled at death, whether the death certificate was provided or something needs to be ordered, dates of the will or codicils, the bond details, whether it was waived or an amount needs to be posted. All of those things can be filled in here. Generally speaking, these are fields that are designed to be used within the FLSSI forms themselves. We also have the assets and liabilities table, which we're going to spend a little bit more time on later. Opening that up, you have many different asset classes and liability classes. We can tab over to the assets table. You'll have a list of cash accounts, investment accounts, retirement accounts, life insurance, real property. Within the real property section, for example, when this is a Florida property, you can select whether the property is exempt homestead, non-exempt, or other Florida real estate. These types of fields will help you fill out the inventory and other forms where there's distinction between the type of real property that exists. So filling this out completely really does help fully complete the documents from FLSSI and any of your other forms using these fields. When you look at other personal property items that are less detailed, for example, you have a personal property here, we have filled out a car. Because it's a motor vehicle, we have added the VIN number, we selected a beneficiary, and the owner of that property being the decedent, the date of death value, etc. For things like cash accounts, you'll see that there's institution names, which actually will pull from the bank and brokerage institution card tables, but you can also enter in your own types of accounts, account numbers, again, date of death balance, beneficiaries, and account holders. We'll get into beneficiaries a little bit later. But for example, if we look at one of these cash accounts, we've actually entered some non-pro rata distributions because there are two people listed as beneficiaries. We're going to talk about how that automates some of the FLSSI forms as well. So that when you get into forms that have you put in the value of an asset and the share received by a beneficiary, we can actually automate all of that through LEAP. Finally, one other option we're going to cover, by going into the edit table types again, you will see that many of the parties within this case have the ability to add a representative table. We're going to add some representatives to show you how some of that works when you need to fill out proofs of service, for example, when you're actually serving a representative directly rather than the person themselves, and how we've automated ways that you can do that in the forms. I did also want to cover the correspondence section within the matter. That would be this section over here where you have folders and you have the ability to create folders and subfolders. This is really where you're going to have your document management within the matter. You can also create recurring matter templates so that you have that same folder structure showing up each and every time. It's a really good way to stay organized and to even shortcut the templates that you need to use repetitively, such as your closing letters, your retainer agreements, etc. The Florida Formal Administration matter type is set up by our content team. When opening forms and templates from that matter, you will jump straight to all the forms and templates provided by LEAP, including the FLSSI forms and any of your custom templates you've associated with that matter type. We can see county-specific folders for formal administration and the FLSSI forms. Opening up the FLSSI folder, their forms are organized into 5 primary categories, designating the grouping provided by FLSSI's form numbering system. We're going to start in the Opening Formal Administration folder. We can see all the forms designated with a 3 and their associated FLSSI form number. You can sort them by name, or you can sort them by form number if that's your preference. Once you find the forms that you want, you can open each one individually by clicking on it and then hitting the select button or double-clicking the form. It's also worth noting that you can use the generator function to search for documents and even preview them. If we click on the generator button, generator will load, and let's search for the letters. Since our matter is set to formal administration in Florida, it will filter the results based on that matter type. We can look through forms in our correspondence, firm correspondence, or LEAP forms, or use a law-wide generated option. Let's expand the results from the LEAP forms. By using the expanded options, we can see there's a single personal representative, letters of administration, which is the FLSSI form 3.0700. If we click on it, a preview will appear on the right, showing what the form looks like. You can also look at some of the other forms, including some of the county-specific forms that showed up. Let's return to the Browse tab and open up the petition so we can start this case. Since this is a matter with a single petitioner, we're going to open up the Petition for Administration, Testate, Florida Resident, Single Petitioner. Once the petition opens, it will automatically pre-populate fields coming out of the LEAP matter. You will see as we hover over them that there are fields that are being pre-populated off the matter, such as the court county, the decedent's name, the file number, information about the petitioner, their address, the decedent's name that you had filled out, their address, the last four of their social security number. All this information you've already entered as part of the matter creation process, and now it's automatically showing up in the form. As we get down to section 3, you'll see that there's a list of beneficiaries, their names, their addresses, the relationship to the decedent, and since one of them is a minor, it will automatically populate their year of birth based on their date put into the matter. On the right-hand side, you'll see the Leap for Word pane. As we scroll through this brief list of questions, this is generally for fields that we do not keep on the matter. They might be specific types of interview questions to help you populate the form, such as sections that offer strike-throughs that are in the form, like in section 7 or in section 11. And there'll be a question that's related to it. By clicking Update after you answer one of those questions, it will update any of those dynamic fields that are tied to a question. As we go back to section 8, you'll see the list of assets that are populating off of the Assets and Liabilities table, creating your asset list in the petition, and showing the protected homestead property and the property that was listed as other Florida property, different personal property items, and then a total estimated value. Since this is a Word document, you have the ability to modify this as you need. For example, I am not a huge fan of hanging signature lines such as this. If you'd like to make that change, since this is a Word document, you can simply just enter a section break to enter the signature line onto a separate page. And since this list of assets dynamically push the document down, we may just want to do that. So let's add a section break. And just like that, we have moved the signature line down to the second page. You can also, of course, just hit the Enter key to drag it down. Another great feature of using the FLSSI forms through LEAP is leveraging our AutoTime technology. By opening a document from your LEAP matter, you will automatically be able to track the time while you're in that document. For any of your hourly billable matters or flat fee or percentage-based matters where you want to track those activities, you can simply click the Save and Close button to have that entry recorded as an activity. We'll return to the Details and Correspondence view. And here you'll see where we had saved that petition for administration. It's also worth looking into some of the other advanced automation that we've done with other forms. If you recall, when we opened up Assets and Liabilities, some of the assets had distributions on them. For example, this Flagstar bank account has a 60-40 split between Cynthia and James Deming. While this asset was split non-pro rata, 60-40, we also have the ability to split the assets pro rata. For example, if we look at this Vanguard account, you'll see that there's a pro rata distribution between the two beneficiaries. Let's take a look at how this is used in automation within the FLSSI forms. In order to demonstrate some of this functionality, we're actually going to use a summary administration form. We'll click on Forms and Templates, go to the Abbreviated Probate or Summary Administration folder, which is hyperlinked to the Formal Administration FLSSI Forms folder. And we're going to open the Order of Summary Administration. Once that opens, you'll see that all the beneficiaries are listed with the distributions that we outlined in Assets and Liabilities. You see that Cynthia and James are getting 60-40 on the Flagstar bank account and 50-50 on the Vanguard account. All of this type of automation would be available to you even in your custom documents. One other feature we've been able to implement is how we deal with represented parties and how we show their names and addresses with respect to who they represent. As we return to the Leap matter, we're going to use the Edit Table Types feature in Leap to activate tables in this matter that are not active by default. In this case, we're going to add a representative for one of the beneficiaries so that our service list reflects serving the beneficiary's representative. You will see when we open Edit Table Types that there are many tables that are not active by default. Now that we have activated the beneficiary representative card, we're going to add a representative for James Deming, who is a minor. You can add a new representative by creating a new card, or you can select from prior representative by using the Add Representative from Card list. In this case, we're going to add a previously used card, Catherine Montgomery, from our recent card list, and add her as the guardian. To show this in automation, we're going to use an example of the proof of service of formal notice. We'll go to Forms and Templates, back into the FLSSI Forms folder, and we're looking under General Probate. And there we find the proof of service of formal notice. This document has been automated from parties on the matter with selected recipients already included, including Howard Stevens, Cynthia James, and Catherine Montgomery, guardian for James Deming. If you'd like to deselect any of the recipients, you can do so by just deselecting them from the Select Recipients question, and then clicking Update Document. These are just a few examples of the many forms we have automated within Leap. If you have any questions or want to provide feedback about any of the FLSSI forms or other forms we have automated, you can simply click the Provide Feedback button at the top of any form in the Leap ribbon. This form will be pre-populated with your information and the form information, and you can simply add a description of your feedback, click Submit, and it will be sent to our content team. That concludes the demo portion of the webinar. If you'd like to learn more, please contact your firm's Client Success Manager or send an email to clientsuccess@leap.us. To keep up to date with content updates, be sure to visit the Leap content blog and subscribe for email updates if you have not done so already. That will include updates such as the FLSSI guardianship forms coming soon. And if you're ever in need of technical assistance, please do not hesitate to open a chat with our help desk team at community.leap.us.